Welcome back. My name is Gin. I'm here with Sophia, and we are Soul Spark Vibe. We are here to spark your soul so that you can ignite your best life. And today, we're going to be talking about dreams, dreaming, dreams, all of the amazing things that you can do with dreams. I got this a little bit about lucid dreaming yesterday, and
It
that's
is a
kind of
little
where
book.
it is a little book. It's a cute little book, right? So lucid dreaming is something that I've been fascinated by for years now. I've been working pretty hard and on becoming better at getting better at becoming aware within my dreams. Which that so lucid dreaming, for those who don't know, is when you are asleep and you become conscious of the fact that you're sleeping. So then this practice allows you to ideally, like, ultimately manipulate your dream state, and the benefits of lucid dreaming are plentiful, without a doubt. Some of them being um, the ability to process deep rooted mental things. There have been a lot of studies with like trauma based healing with lucid dreaming. There are studies with athletes and different musicians and everything using the lucid state while they're dreaming to actually practice and practice things that they're not able to achieve within their waking state. So they
Mm.
practice in their dream and then they're able to actually accomplish it within their waking state. So, what I find so fascinating about lucid dreaming, or just dreaming in general, okay, just taking it back a step, right? Because when we look at our brain, right, when we look at our waking state and our sleeping state, for some reason, and this is something that I realized just more recently, just like a few years back, is when this kind of hit me. Okay, so I know I've mentioned this movie so many times, but The Waking Life, The Waking Life, like, so this movie helped me. This is like where this movie really came into shine for me. But it helped me better understand how um what we perceive to be as two different states of consciousness, right? Like our conscious state and then our unconscious state. Like when we're awake, we're utilizing our conscious state. When we're asleep, we're utilizing our subconscious state. And for some reason, I had always seen it as these are two different ways of my brain operating, and I almost saw it as like two different brains, which I know, like, that sounds funny because we anatomically have one, and I know this, but it was almost like I was separating what my brain was capable of while I was dreaming as opposed to while I was awake. And in doing more research and everything, and like understanding the neurology of the dream state and of dreaming, of the process of dreaming, it's very clear that, like, obviously we have one brain. So it is literally the same functionality that we have while we are awake, same functionality as while we're asleep. So in all regards, we can actually dream our waking life and wake in our dreaming life. So lucid dreaming is waking in your dreaming life, but then we have like manifestation and things like that, which is a form of dreaming in your waking life, which the veil is so much thinner than I had realized for majority of my life. So it really fascinated me when I took a look at it and was like, wow, this is the same brain, the same patterns, the same neurological firing that's happening while I'm awake is happening while I'm asleep. So like, how can I do this? Like, what? How do I get into this? How do I start like creating my life in like a dreamy type manner? Um, and it's cool because I was looking through my dream journal and there were a couple of entries that I like just randomly flipped to over the past like 2 or 3 days. And in the entry, I wrote about becoming aware in my dream that I was awake. And it's not something that I've been able to like fully immerse myself in. And like I know a lot of people who consider, well, I don't personally know these people, but I've read books by people who consider themselves lucid dreamers. That's what they call themselves. They're able to just like induce a lucid state within their dream, and they just go and explore and they do cool shit all the time. And like, and that's kind of like, yeah, so that's an introduction to lucid dreaming and some of the benefits and why I want to do it. Like, that sounds amazing to just be able to like create your life.
It really definitely does. And don't be discouraged if you haven't been able to lucid dream yet. I myself have only lucid dreamed a couple times that I'm aware of, like literally probably two that I consciously can remember. And there's statistics. I don't know them off the top of my head, but it's pretty uncommon. So first you have to become aware of it, I think. They say there's different practices you can do, like throughout the day while you're awake. You could say, I'm going to lucid dream tonight. Affirm it. So if it doesn't happen that night, obviously it takes practice, just like anything good in life takes practice. So if you keep telling yourself, I can lucid dream, I am going to lucid dream tonight, every time you have like a spare minute and or spare space in your brain, you're working or whatever, just, I'm going to lucid dream tonight. I'm going to lucid dream tonight. Another thing that I've been told that you could do too, because sometimes I guess in the beginning, you don't know when you're lucid dreaming. So there's these different practices I've heard about, like throughout the day, if you go like this with your finger, you clearly can't put your finger through your hand, right? But then when you're dreaming and you go like this, your finger will like just go through your hand as if you were translucent. So there's different things. Oh, and also I heard that and this actually happened for me before in a dream state, the time. So like if you check the time on your phone in a dream, you won't be able to distinguish what time it is. Like the numbers will appear really I don't know the word, like not numbers, like jumbled, thank you. Yeah, so if you keep just becoming aware of it first, I think is a great advice. But again, I've only done it a couple times, and I'll just share my experience. What's really weird is that I had not drank alcohol or smoked weed in a long time, and there was one night I went bowling with my brothers, so I had drank that night, and that was the night I actually lucid dreamed. So I don't know if it took me like, and I don't recommend this for anybody, but and I had been doing spiritual practice throughout that sober time. So anyway, for me it was like a flying experience. I was able to literally go like this and control how high I was going up. But it didn't last long, but it was super, super cool. And I like Ginny's scientific or approach as far as manifesting, or like building in the dream world what you want to see in the waking world. Because I mean, who doesn't want to do that, right? Like we can daydream all we want, which is really good to do. Don't stop daydreaming. It's really important to daydream. I don't care what anybody says. You're a dreamer, you're an imaginer. Yeah, those are the people that actually create crazy inventions and crazy lives for themselves, because they envisioned something that what others would just consider a dream. So visualizing is the first thing to any type of manifesting. I think, well, your thoughts and visualizing, daydreaming, are really critical. Don't stop dreaming and continue to see yourself in the highest, most grandest daydream possible, because the only thing that can happen is that you won't get there, right? That's the worst that could happen. But the best that is you're creating a desire and also a vision for yourself, something for your mind to work towards.
Yeah, most definitely. And I would also, I do want to add on to what you were saying, like lucid dreaming isn't, I think it comes more naturally to some people than others. I haven't had that many lucid dreams where I actually became like aware enough to do things in my dream. Although kind of like, so what you were mentioning before, they're called reality checks. And I don't know if you can see that,
Ah,
but I have
I can
reality checks
now.
on my hand. When I got really into, like, I read this book on shamanic dreaming, and it's lucid dreaming in more of like shamanistic sense. Um, but I was very, very into it, in reality check. So like if you go around and you just tap things and just like reality check, and it's like the same thing where like if you do that and then in a dream you go to tap the wall and your hand goes through it, like you were saying, like
Mm.
you're dreaming. So it's kind of like just giving yourself these hints throughout the day. But something that I wanted to mention, and it goes along with, like, goes into the shamanic dreaming aspect of it, because it's great to be able to like manifest things and kind of merge the two worlds, like acquire better skills in your dream that actually transfer over to your waking life. Like that's all absolutely brilliant. But there's so much more that you can do within your dreams. And the shamanic dreaming, shamanism is a very like spiritual, it's very environmental, in tune and in harmony with everything. Um, and so they would use their dreams, and like they would analyze everything in it. Different spirit animals would come and visit, and they would build relationships with these spirit animals, right? And then so like the traits and qualities would then bleed over into their waking life, or like healing ailments, um or prophesizing. If somebody had a dream, like the actual like the prophets of the communities were like lucid dreamers. If they had a dream that um there was going to be a famine or flood for that matter, or that there were going to be people coming or things like that, it was taken very, very seriously.
Mm.
um and it was kind of like, I guess, when more institutionalized religions maybe came in, that the importance of the dream state started being diminished, because in earlier cultures, it was really like it was a superpower to be able to have these dreams, and kind of be able to foresee what was coming, or yeah, have all these different insights that they wouldn't have been able to have without connecting with their spirits and their guides and just their dreams in a different way.
I'm happy you brought that up, Jen, because I started hardcore dream journaling, like probably I would say this past year and a half. It goes back to like nearly every night, and when you begin to do that, you begin to recall your dreams better and stronger. So it becomes like um becomes natural, almost like your subconscious, your body knows you're going to record your dreams. So I don't know, whatever it is, but you start remembering them better, clearer. You start noticing patterns and things of that nature, which I'm really, really fascinated by dreams, actually. Um, so archetypes will start to appear, or like, okay, so dreaming, as far as I understand, is communication with your subconscious. So everybody's dreaming experience is different for them. That's why, like, I used to look up, like, oh, what does an eagle landing on your shoulder in your dream mean? But it's literally going to be different for everybody. So I had to ask myself, what does an eagle mean to me? What does symbolically that mean? Because your subconscious speaks to you in symbols, archetypes. It doesn't have its own language, although Carl Jung would probably uh, debate that, because he actually came up with an entire symbolic language that he was communicating with his subconscious. Really fascinating stuff. Um, so yeah, if you start to record your dreams, you'll start to notice patterns, like the same woman that appears in my dream, and what do I think of that woman? What does she mean to me? And it's really like, it's really, I love it. It's like having a conversation with yourself. So I'm starting to interpret my dreams better. I feel like I'm not doing a great job of it, but I'm happy that I'm trying and that I'm recording them anyway, because what I've noticed lately is getting in alignment with the shamanic dreaming is I have a lot of premonition dreams. But they'll come off like all convoluted. And I don't know if that's because I haven't learned the language between me and my subconscious yet. But like, for instance, like I'll see in my dream I saw my cousin with my, this is probably a bad example because I didn't think this all the way through, but yeah, it's weird. Okay, so okay, so like in my dream the other night, I saw my brother who doesn't live here. He went to the bathroom and he had a robe on, and he never wears a robe. And I was in the other room looking for a cigarette. All right, this is really weird. But then the following day, right, I'm the one going to the bathroom, and I said out loud, "Oh, I really love this robe," to my other brother, while I had just snuck a cigarette. So like, it's convoluted. The dreams come in convoluted, but there's always sometimes, oftentimes, I find ties, and they end up being like premonitions almost. So it's really fascinating stuff. And when I learn to interpret them more and communicate more with my subconscious, I expect or suspect that I'll be able to determine more what they mean or what's going to come up in the day, because they say the next day's already been written, or your actions and thoughts and words today determine your tomorrow. And I really, really begin to strongly believe that. And I don't know how far it goes out, but at least until the next day, because of all these premonitions I have in my dream. And what I'll notice, actually, days down the line, things that will occur that were very coincidentally similar that appeared in my dream a couple days prior. So it's really fascinating stuff. I highly recommend to start a dialogue with your subconscious, and especially through dreaming. It's the coolest way.
Oh man, I feel like there were so many things there that I want to kind of like jump in on.
Yeah.
But the first thing, like, and this is kind of like just taking it back like maybe 10 steps, but
Yeah.
journaling your dreams. So I love that you brought that up because that's really like, okay, so dream recollection is totally a skill, right? And it's a skill that needs to be strengthened. So I get really frustrated. I go through these phases where like I'll write down my dreams and I'll start remembering like I'll write like a page and a half worth of like dream that I had. And then like right now I'm in a slump where I just don't remember my dreams. I'm just not remembering my dreams. And it annoys me very much, but it is what it is, you know? But getting into the habit of, and this is okay, so I'm listening to my own advice right now. Very much so. But like I do have my dream journal right next to my bed, but um when like waking up and just making it a habit, open up the dream journal and write even just a sentence. If nothing comes to you, write a sentence about how you felt, something, anything. A lot of the times for me, like as soon as I put my pen to the paper, I'll start remembering things. But so it's discouraging. It's discouraging as hell. Like I hate it so much when I can't remember my dreams, but it is something that can be strengthened. It's a skill that can be strengthened, and it needs to. If you want to do like lucid dreaming, astral projection, stuff like that, like the first thing that you're gonna have to do is be able to recall your dreams because you could literally be lucid dreaming every night and you're not gonna you don't remember. You don't remember. Like that's so like you could actually be way more advanced in your dreaming skills than you even know because
Word.
you're just missing the tiny little step of remembering your dreams. Unfortunately that's not the case for me. I can totally write down all my dreams and it's very slim pickings when I actually become lucid. And then I usually don't go very far with it, but there are other people like once they start having that journaling practice, then they just become lucid and they're like all over in their dreams.
True.
Um, but that dream recollection is going to be like the first step to even acknowledging that you are lucid dreaming. And so it's really cool because so when I was like super deep into my dreams and like I had kind of like to what you were saying, I had a good understanding of how my dreams felt. Like there was a similar like I could understand my dreams. Um, so not that they came through because they do come through all jumbled. I 100% like so understanding them in that way isn't so much like decoding them isn't so much what I mean, but like the feeling of my dreams, there was a consistency throughout them, and it was really cool because there was this one dream, and I remember it so vividly. I woke up 3 times, and 3 different times, the same energy was in my dream, and it was in my field, and I was just like, I kept waking up, and I was like, who is in my dream right now? It felt so good and it was so comforting and like nurturing. Um, and it was like something I had never felt before in a different energy. Like it was just, and I kept waking up and I was like, who the fuck is this? I still don't know, but I'm sure one day I'll find out.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, it's cool because it's like you're able to like see different things and like experience different things, but you're also just able to feel different things. Um, Yeah, yeah, there's no limit to how you can experience dreams and through what senses things will come to you.
Agreed. I love nothing more than waking up from a good dream. Like it just sets the whole day and it's really profound. But yeah, I think if I to add were you done, Jen? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, totally. What I was gonna say right
Yeah,
there
go ahead.
was, um oh wait, what did you just say? Oh, when you wake up from a good dream, like it sets the whole day. And okay, so what I wanted to add right there is that it could totally go the opposite as well,
Oh my
right? Like,
God,
have
yes.
you ever woken up from like a bad dream and you're just like, what the fuck? And it just like totally just gets you into this place and it's just like, yo, I had to like teach myself because I don't have dreams like that very often anymore, but it would ruin my day. I would have a
Yeah.
dream that is just so like beyond anything that I can control or like the other person could control, right? And it would just frustrate me. So it was kind of like a whole mental shift. It's like it's cool because you can blend. the two worlds together, but also knowing that you can separate them is super important. And I think when it comes to like using the dream state to heal different traumas and everything, that's huge. That's huge to be able to like go into an experience and completely rewrite it in a way that takes those dreams that you wake up and you're all frustrated, and it kind of like flips them to a sense of empowerment. And I think this is something that like takes a lot of work to get to actually like be able to use the dream state to rework experiences like that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I really don't know what I was gonna say about that, to be honest with you, but just being aware and like just being conscious that it could go both ways, and it doesn't need to ruin things if it does go the other way.
Yeah, most def. And like it's funny you say that because um your your dreams are what you subconscious, it's like you, right? It's you subconsciously. So you have two system, well, the people are, who, there's, it's theory, there's you have your conscious life, your waking life or whatever, and then your subconscious. And this goes, it's not just like your thoughts, but it's your body also, like you breathing, or that you're subconsciously you're breathing. You don't think about breathing, you just breathe, right? So there's these systems that are at play. So and it has there's the sympathetic and the two different nervous systems. So I forget the name right now. It's like sympathetic and empathetic.
Parasympathetic and the sympathetic.
Parasympathetic. Thank you, Jen.
I got you.
Yeah. 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 So things happen subconsciously, and like it's crazy because your dreams can tell you a lot about where your subconscious mind is. So like um an example, the other day on the 16th, I had a toxic relationship with this guy for years. Like it was the only guy I ever really like dated. Like if anybody asks me about any of my exes, there's really just one. So there's this guy. So his birthday passed the other day on the 16th, and I had a dream that night. And I try not to think about this man, trust me. But he was all over my dream. And I woke up and it was the 16th and it was his birthday. So like I had, like, it might have crossed my mind in the waking state that his birthday was coming up, but I definitely didn't think about it more than a minute or whatever. But clearly, subconsciously, I was thinking about it, or I was on my mind because I dreamt about him that night. So saying that it's just, so it can act, dreams can actually help you identify traumas or bugs or issues that you have to work out, and you can try to reprogram your subconscious in using different methods such as meditation and getting into like those lower brainwave frequencies, and try to reprogram your subconscious and try to clean up some of your trauma. I think dreams can help you identify some of them because it's your subconscious communicating with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And another part of what I learned during reading that shamanic dream book was that our subconscious, and okay, so there are like two things that I want to say. One goes more into like biology though, and how important the sleep state is for the. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that real quick.
Yeah.
The dream state, like when we sleep, it's our brain goes through like a classification process of memories, right? Like that's when everything is sorted. So your memory files are consolidated and sorted, put into their folders if we're looking at it like an operating system. But then biologically, the brain actually does like this whole constriction and uh, expansion process that makes it almost like a washing machine. So right, like so the cerebral fluids are actually getting into the creases of the brain, and it's actually going through like a physical cleansing process. So it's amazing how important this this state is. And I guess this is like kind of like a side note, but sleep is like the best and most important thing that you can do for your body is like getting adequate sleep. But that also goes into like morning thoughts, right? Like when you wake up with something on your mind, and I used to do this all, like I wake up with thoughts on my mind all the time, but now whatever the thought is, like if it's like you got to call this person, I don't care if I haven't talked to them in years. It's like that's exactly what I do because it's the most biologically cleansed that your brain is, and it's like the closest to your subconscious that you could possibly be is in that fresh wake up state. So
Yep.
like those ideas and those concepts that come to you in the morning, they're morning thoughts and shower thoughts. They're like they're crucial. But okay, so what I was gonna say about like the shamanic dreaming, going back to like the shamanic dreams, is so our subconscious, our dream, like our subconscious, and this also goes in like I believe in destiny. Like I believe that we all have like a path that we're here to fulfill something, and it's our purpose. I do believe in free will as well, and this is like maybe a conversation for another time. So if you want to
Yeah,
hear,
sounds cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to hear that conversation, drop down in the comments, and we can totally smash down on that. It's like one of my favorite topics to get into.
Me too, actually.
Um, but so I do believe in free will and everything, but I also believe in destiny, and our subconscious is like pretty much programmed with where we are meant to be, like how we're supposed to get there. And you said something before about time, and I'm not sure, I can't recall what it was exactly that you said. It was like about being a day or a week before or something like that.
Yeah, like I feel like our actions, thoughts, and words affect like uh create tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, well, okay, yes, 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 and I'm gonna say to that because I do believe that life unfolds all at once. Like life is happening. Time is a concept that we need to construct in order to keep track of how life progresses.
Hmm.
Otherwise, we just are, right? Like without time, we're just space, and energy in space. Um, but so in the dream state, and this goes into nightmares is what I'm getting to. Nightmares, so when you're dreaming, your subconscious is trying to align you the best it can to your path. It's trying to get you to the destiny that you are here for. And if you encounter like recurring nightmares and like night terrors or something like that, that is your subconscious not being able to actually find a way to progress you forward towards your path, towards
Mm.
where your soul is meant to be going. So I thought that was like super powerful because then like I would wake up from a nightmare and it'd be like I would just take a look at my waking life and be like, well, what feels nightmarish to me in my waking state? Like, what is it that makes me cringe? Or like for a while, at one point in my life, it was my job, my relationship. Like it was this life that I had built that I just wasn't really into, and I had nightmares all of the time.
Wow.
I was also very aware that I should have not stayed there, but I didn't. But it was I really enjoyed the comfort, and I think a lot of people can kind of
Oh my
um,
God. Yeah.
relate to that,
Yeah.
but using starting to see my dreams as an indication of where I am along my path. Like if I have these great feeling like super like bubbly dreams, I'm feeling pretty good about where I am. But waking up from nightmares or like you said, like you had this dream about your past partner, um and although like that was probably just because it was his birthday and like the energy was all in there, but like
Yeah, I'm not sure.
having people come visit you in dreams can kind of indicate that like there's something that you need to revisit from that time or from that relationship or from that person, so it's like super incredible once you just start paying more attention. Dreams are such an amazing way to strengthen your intuition, right? Like you said, Sophia, like it's a straight connection to your higher self. So it's just a practice of receiving and flowing with the other dimensions, with the other a higher version.
Planes. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's exactly what it comes down to.
I totally, but I don't, I don't know how much we want to hear about my dreams in particular, but I'm learning, like, recalling them is number one, which I've been doing religiously, like, no matter what, like, even if you're tired, even if you, like, You're afraid you're going to wake up and not be able to go back to sleep. If you're tired enough, you're going to go back to sleep. Just write down the dream. It'll really, you'll thank yourself in the morning. So me being able to interpret a lot of different the archetypes, I think is going to help me. Like, cause I keep seeing reoccurring, like it might even be a spirit guide. There's this woman that appears once in a while. And like there's a magician that shows up. So there's different archetypes. And I think, and again, everybody has different feelings associated with different type of archetypes. So my dreams wouldn't be the same for you or mean the same thing, but I love it. And since I've become more aware of my subconscious language or whatever, it actually has strengthened my intuition. Mainly and the premonitions, they're weird because I don't know how they're going to play out because they're so convoluted. But the more I think I learn to translate some of the symbols in my dreams and understand myself better, I think the more I'll be able to use those to my benefit.
Absolutely.
They're not, I mean, there's this, I don't know why I feel compelled to share this right now, but there is like this creepy one. So, like this is an example of a premonition, but it was a nightmare too. But and it's not in line with what Jen was saying about nightmares. But I don't think there's any like it's not black and white. This topic, most of the topics we talk about aren't. But so like I had a dream that my sister passed away or whatever. So I had a dream of a bathtub, and I swear to God, I wrote it down in my. I mean, I don't lie really. The only thing not honest about me is the face, but so I had a dream that because we grew up in another town in in New Jersey, Denville or whatever. So I had a dream that my niece, who's named after my sister, drowned in the bathtub of the Denville house. Yeah, sometimes I have some really creepy ones, but which I love because it's I don't know why. It's just like makes life a little bit more exciting and brings some like it's just like in awe of what like goes on in the mind or whatever. But anyway, so I had a dream that we couldn't find her. We're looking everywhere. We're in the Denville house. She never even saw that house. She never stepped foot in it. And she had drowned in the bathtub. The next day, it was like the holiday time. I don't know if it was Christmas or whatever. And we were looking at baby videos. And my sister that did pass away, there was a scene of her in the bathtub. And I literally wrote it down in my notebook, like I had dreamt that Gigi drowned in the Denville house bathtub. Oh, that's great.
It was
So
Tina in the
as a
Denville
baby
house.
in the tub, yeah, and the next day on the video. So anyway, things come in really convoluted, and who knows what the fuck's going up in my brain, what traumas I have, whatever. It's still unsettled, but it's just an example of. It's probably not the best example, but I was, I hated it at first, like it fucked me up for a little bit, but then when I think back to it now, I'm like, yo. Thank you for me having that experience because it leaves me in awe of the subconscious mind and maybe some things I still need to heal.
Yeah. It definitely brings up things. Well, that's what our subconscious mind is here for. It's here to like. Well, I mean, and I guess like you have to get to a certain point because it is really just to keep us alive and like ideally comfortable. But then once like you start getting into the growth of things, it really like it starts to grow for you. And I think dreams is a way that like it really shows you in which ways you can go, which ways you still have room to flourish in, which is our human nature. We're not meant to ever stop. So yeah,
Yeah, I think there's so many nuggets in dreams, and if you have somebody you can talk to them about, like thank God I have Jen, because sometimes even just talking about it with somebody, things come to light.
Yeah, most definitely. And so I guess one more thing that I would like to say, and it's kind of not so much on lucid dreaming, but kind of an aspect of it, kind of not. More of like the astral projection side, but um,
Oh,
yeah. Which okay, so I've had two launches. Like one was super intense. It was a really incredible experience. But so when and I guess like this is if you're working on lucid dreaming and you wake up in the middle of the night and you write down your dream, go to the bathroom and come back and go to sleep, right? Like that, depending on what state of your dream cycle you're in, you might hit like your REM sleep, and then that would induce like an astral projection. So, and I know a lot of people have encountered sleep paralysis. There was something that was mentioned before about this that made me think of this. Um, but a lot of people that I know like have experienced sleep paralysis at some point throughout their life. And if you haven't, sleep paralysis is when you're asleep, or when you wake up, but your body is paralyzed. And it's, I don't remember what I don't remember what the hormone is. I think it's a hormone that induces this paralysis, but it's literally something that our brain creates in order to keep us not moving, so that we don't act out our dreams, right? Like if we're running and like just flailing, it'd be dangerous. So that's literally we our body hasn't woken up, but our mind has, and that's what sleep paralysis is. But if you're able to like when you if and when you experience sleep paralysis, if you're able to relax into it and just breathe, like, and it's very difficult. I This is like I've done it once and it was amazing, but I was terrified at first, and then I was like, nope, I actually know what this is. So I just breathed and like let myself just relax into it, and that's the launch. That's the launch point for astral projection. That's when your energy can leave your body. And it was wild because it totally like it felt like Velcro. It sounded like Velcro more than it felt like Velcro. But
Mm.
I like sat up in my bed and I was in a completely different place. It was a pretty cool experience. But it all starts with that sleep paralysis state. So it's something that I know a lot of people, it freaks a lot of people out, and very, very rightfully so. It's kind of terrifying. If you wake up and you just can't move, it's like, what the fuck, you
Yeah.
know? Um, but if you can like breathe into it, if you are interested in lucid dreaming and astral projection, that's the state that you want to like just submit, and kind of like let your energy just, yeah, take flight.
It's great
Um,
advice.
yeah, yeah, maybe we could do more on astral projection, even though I'm not by any means an expert on either of these topics. Just totally enthralled by learning about them. So
Same here,
yeah,
definitely. I would love to go deeper into maybe some astral projection talk one day.
cool, cool.
Yeah, there's some practices I've heard of that I'm working on myself, actually waking up the psychic consciousness throughout your body. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, so like, I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but like, if you think about the energy in your feet, eventually you'll feel the energy in your feet. Yeah, so there's different practices you can do all throughout your body, and you do that often enough. I believe that helps in projection, or leaving the body. Not really sure how yet, but I'm in the beginning phases of it, so I'll let you know as I
Yeah,
progress.
right on. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to come back and talk about this. Talk about astral projection in more detail. I think that'll be a fun topic.
Yeah.
Um, Hope you all enjoyed today's talk. If you have any suggestions on a topic that you would like to hear about, drop them in the comments below. And
Tell us your dreams,
yeah, please give us
especially
your
if you have any tips for lucid dreaming, because I'm still working on developing that.
same. Any tips, experiences? Would love to hear about them, share about them. Um, yeah. So thank you. Thanks for spending your time with us. It's always appreciated. Once again, Gin and Sophia, Soul Spark Vibe, here to help spark your soul so that you can ignite your best
The
life.
best life.
Yeah. All right. See you all later. See you next week.
Bye.